Before we begin, remember this: the past is never truly silent. It breathes through broken temples, whispers through forgotten roads, and hides in the ruins we walk past without noticing. Here, on the Eternal Narrator, we bring those voices back. We follow the stories that shaped our world, the secrets time tried to bury, and the human truths that still beat beneath the dust. If you're ready to see history not as dates, but as living echoes, then step into the silence with me. The stories that outlived their storytellers are waiting. The city was alive one moment and gone the next. One moment, children were laughing in the markets, priests were chanting in temples, and merchants were calling out prices. And then, like someone had blown out a candle, the noise faded, the streets emptied, the fires dimmed, the doors stayed shut. By sunset, the city that once held tens of thousands of souls felt abandoned, hollow, and strangely cold. What happened? How does a world so full of life collapse into silence? That is the riddle history keeps whispering, the mystery buried under broken stones and forgotten names. And the deeper you go, the more you realize something terrifying. These ruins are not just stories from long ago. They are warnings, they are mirrors, they are echoes of a pattern that has repeated again and again, from Egypt to Rome to the great cities swallowed by jungle and desert. But before those worlds collapsed, before their temples crumbled and their people vanished, something else happened. Something quiet, something slow, something all of us miss. And that is where this story truly begins. Civilizations do not rise because people dream of empires. They begin with simple hopes: food on the table, safety at night, a place to build a family. Long before the pyramids or the great walls or the marble statues, there were only small groups of people trying to survive. Then one day, someone discovered that seeds grow better near rivers. Someone realized that water rising and falling in a pattern meant you could plan ahead. And suddenly, survival wasn't a gamble anymore. It became a rhythm. The Nile, the Tigris, the Euphrates, the Indus, the Yellow River. These rivers were like nature's lifelines, steady and predictable. They let families settle instead of wander. And when people settle, something magical happens. They start thinking about tomorrow. They start imagining. Villages swell into towns. Towns grow into cities. Cities become something more, something we call a civilization. It's like the moment a small business finally finds its first customers. Everything feels possible. Everything moves faster. New ideas spread. People share knowledge. Life becomes richer, not just in food, but in meaning. And once a society feels safe enough to dream, it begins to build. Leaders rise. Belief systems form. Laws are written. Trade expands across lands. Armies appear, not to destroy, but to protect what has been created. Rome built long roads that tied whole continents together like veins in a vast body. Egypt raised monuments so tall they seemed to touch the sky, hoping the gods would remember their names. The Mayans learned the secrets of time itself. Mesopotamia carved the first words into clay, turning memory into something permanent. But every dream carries a shadow. Growth brings complexity. Complexity brings stress. Populations boom. Cities get crowded. Resources start to stretch thin. And slowly, the system that once felt perfect begins to feel heavy. Like a machine running too fast, every part starts to strain. Rulers want more land, more power, more tribute. Expansion becomes a hunger that's never satisfied, and this is where the first cracks appear. Civilizations rarely fall because of a single blow. It is almost never one disaster. It is pressure, quiet, constant pressure. A drought that kills crops for 1 year, then another, until people lose hope. A divide between the rich and the poor that grows so wide, it feels like two different worlds. Empires stretching so far that leaders can't control them. Armies too tired to fight. Roads too broken to travel. But the deadliest crack is the one no one sees until it is too late. The moment people stop believing the future will be better than the present, when trust fades, society becomes hollow, and hollow things break even without a push. Yet collapse does not look like a grand disaster when you're living in it. It looks normal. One morning, fewer merchants open their stalls. The water in the well is a little lower. Soldiers look thinner, as if someone forgot to feed them. Rumors grow. The nights feel longer. A building falls and no one repairs it. Travelers stop coming. You look around and suddenly your home feels smaller. That is how civilizations fall. Not with fire, not with screams, but with quiet moments people convince themselves are temporary. They tell themselves things will get better next year, but next year never comes. Rome didn't fall in one day. It unraveled over centuries of corruption, chaos, and mistrust. Egypt weakened when the Nile changed its rhythm and stopped feeding the soil. The Indus Valley faded when rivers shifted and trade routes died. The Mayan cities were abandoned when forests disappeared and water turned scarce. Each collapse feels different, but the pattern is the same: pressure, doubt, and silence. And yet, here is the secret history never shouts. Civilizations don't really die. They transform. Rome became another empire. Egypt lived on through new rulers. The Mayans still walk the earth today. Mesopotamia's inventions shape how we write, count, and organize life itself. Collapse is not the ending. It is the turning of a page. But the lesson these stories leave behind is the one we keep ignoring. Civilizations rise when they adapt. They fall when they assume they cannot. They fail when they stop caring for their people. When unity cracks, when warning signs are ignored, when tomorrow feels like a copy of today, until it isn't. And now, the same pressures ancient civilizations faced are rising again. Climate shifting, inequality widening, resources thinning, trust eroding. The same pattern repeating with new faces, new voices, new flags. Will this time be different? Or are we living inside the same story without realizing it? The answer lies not in the past, but in what comes next. Because our next journey leads into the heart of a forgotten kingdom, a world that rose from nothing, mastered iron, shaped great empires, and vanished into one of the greatest mysteries in archaeology. A civilization most people have never heard of, yet should. What they created and why they disappeared will change everything you think you know about the ancient world. And that story begins after the silence.